Welcome back to Working Man Ron Doyle. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Working Man Ron Doyle. Today's episode, I want to show you how I mount a 60 amp non-fuse disconnect on vinyl siding that is already installed onto the wall. This could be for new construction, which this is, or it could be for your old construction house that has got new vinyl siding on it. Preferably I like to mount vinyl siding blocks, and the vinyl siding guys beat me to the chase on that. We want to make sure this is secured to the wall, and if the inspector goes and grabs it, we want to make sure that it's securely fastened. But if you securely fasten this too tight to a wall, sometimes you'll have, a camber to it. It'll be crooked on the wall. We want it nice and secure, but we also want this vinyl siding to be able to expand and contract. So we're going to secure it tightly. It'll still be able to expand right side and left side from where the disconnect's at, because we only have one. And I'm going to show you how I'd mount this on the wall. So the first step that we're going to do, we're going to go over to the crawl space door, and we're going to measure up the floor joist height to see exactly where on this wall we can mount it, because I want my 10-2 wire that feeds this particular disconnect to be under the house for being able to access the wire at a later date. If the compressor needs to be changed out, you'll be able to access the wire easily. So I'm going to go over to the crawl space door. We're going to pull a measurement. All right, we're at this crawl space door. What I'm going to do is line of sight. I'm going to butt it up to the bottom of the floor. And what I'm looking for is lining across the bottom of this band plate, which is the bottom side, the top side of the block, but the bottom side of the board. We've got 11 1/4 inches. So we're going to go to the spot, show you how to mount this disconnect. All right, now talking to the HVAC contractor, normal rule of thumb, he doesn't like disconnects mounted on the outside corners, such as this corner here. It's more susceptible to damage, so he wants me to mount it inward. And rule of thumb he always likes is between 4 and 5 foot, somewhere in between. So I'm going to hook on the outside of the siding, pull the measurement over, and I'm putting it right at 4'6". So let me get you over here a little closer. Now, what we're mounting on the wall is a 60 amp Eaton non-fuse disconnect. These are bought from most Lowe's home improvement stores, and some electrical supply houses like Rexel is our local supply house that stocks these. Basically, I'm going to take the disconnect out of the sleeve. I want the upper part of the disconnect right here, this part right here below this indentation that bumps out. I want it to rest up to the bottom side of a piece of vinyl siding, the lip of it. So looking at where the holes, I've already pre-broke the holes on this. Basically this all comes shipped together. Grab this part in the center, pull. The way you get this door off so it's not in your way when you're doing the install is put my feet on it right here, grab the door, pull the door up. So this HVAC condensing unit is 25 amps, 240 volt. So what I'm going to do, we're going to get our mark up to where the height of the floor is. So we know we're at 11 1/4 inches, and over here where this vent's at, I'm going to measure up. We got 1 1/4 inches to the bottom of our board, which is the top of our block. So right in this area here, I'm going to lightly mark 1 1/4 inches, and I'm going to measure up from this point up 11 1/4. All right, this mark right here is the bottom side of our subfloor in the house. So we want to make sure that this knockout stays below the subfloor in the house, so that on future pulls this line can be replaced or easily accessed to be able to pull it in or pull it out. So if I go this high, it's breaking the line of the floor. We need to go one down from it, and I want to stay in 4'6" from the outside corner. And what I like to do on these disconnects is, you see where this is hitting on the vinyl siding, that makes the back of this box real rigid. So I want to use this part right here as a reference line and stop it for this wall mount indentation. You can see it bumps out right here. I want to bump that onto the vinyl siding, center it up on our marks, which is right there. Got a magnetic torpedo level. what I want to do is draw a circle inside the 1/2 inch knockout. We're going to take a cordless drill with a 1 3/8" hole saw. Now, depending on the temperature, if it's cold and you're worried about ripping the vinyl siding, you want to penetrate the surface with a drill bit and then put the drill bit in reverse. Alright, right before you hit the vinyl siding, turn it in reverse. Okay, you've got through the first layer. That's going to keep you from cracking it in cold weather. You see me popping this off. This is the Snap Lock Plus, made by Spider. It's an adapter that you screw into. It's a mandrel adapter that you actually screw into your existing hole saws. This is an 1 3/8" Linux. I like it because you can pop your slugs out really easy by pulling this and releasing it. As you go through, you want to pop your slugs out so you don't bottom out on your hole saw. So that's the 7/16 OSB. And occasionally, good. All right. Basically, you want to pull the drill out. I usually tap the drill, get the dust out. That keeps the plugs from getting stuck inside the end. We're drilling through the outside band. All right, we made it through. The plug actually went underneath the house. What I'm going to do now, and I've already prepped it, is basically we're using a 1/2 inch TA, 1/2 inch lock nut, and a short 3-inch 1/2 inch PVC nipple, cut from a length of pipe. And we are going to insert that into the back of our 60 amp non-fuse disconnect. I'm going to go ahead and snug her up. Get a little tight in my big hands in this corner here. And what we're going to do is put this on the wall, put our magnetic torpedo level on it, and we're going to use 2-inch 5/16 head lag screws, and we're going to use 3 of them with the holes that are inside the box. First one I'm going to do is the one at the top. I'm going to level it out. Alright, making sure it's level, we're going to take our other 2 corresponding screws. And I'm going to check this as reference in a couple spots. Now that the holes are actually, the screws are actually inset, I'm going to bring the screws back out, and what I want to do is put spacers behind these 2 screws so that this disconnect, you can see me rocking this disconnect won't rock on the wall. So we're actually affixing it tight to the wall, but the vinyl siding will be able to expand that direction and this direction. So I'm going to back these 2, screws out. And I'm only loosening the top. Now the top is secured, like I said, off the bottom lip of this vinyl siding, so it's not going to rock a whole lot once I get these spacers in here. But we're going to loosen the top just a little bit. We're going to use 1/4 inch plumber's PEX line. This is great for spacers. I've used it a lot. But what I'm going to do is hold it up to the tallest rib on the vinyl siding. I'm going to put my thumbnail on it right where it meets. We want a spacer approximately the distance out of the vinyl siding. This particular vinyl siding is 1/2 inch. Now, holding my finger on it, I've got a 1/2 inch. We take our PVC pipe cutters, and we're going to cut two the exact same length. Now, I'm going to put those screws back in my impact. I'm going to, kind of hard to do and show you at the same time, place this behind the hole that we screwed through and get it inserted onto our screw. Now, lining it up with the same hole that you placed in the wall, you can see the spacer in the video. I'm just going to set that screw loose. Now I'm going to insert this one on the opposite side. Now snug those screws up consistent, and then put a little tighten on there, the one on the top. I'm going to go ahead and pull this wire through, hook it up to the non-fuse disconnect, and then I'm going to show you how I keep water intrusion out of this. Now, typically, most of your electrical contractors putting this on the wall, they won't do this nipple idea that I've done. I've done this for many years. I was using George Landing of MEI, Maryland Electrical Inspections. He, sadly to say, he passed away last year of some unknown circumstances. Tragic. He was in the hospital for a while. It wasn't COVID, but he was okay with me doing this. He wanted some kind of wire securement so that wire couldn't be pulled back through if somebody were to grab it underneath the house. And he would get me to ball up silicone on the inside of where the wire would come through. The other alternative of electricians doing that is they'll use a 1/2 inch Romex clamp for 10-2. And what I found over time is getting this mounted through the back. I would put the screws face down. If someone were to do an adjustment on your wire underneath the house, you're going to find that getting to these screws can get locked and hung up into the bottom of the vinyl siding, and you're pulling on this to loosen the screws up to get this off the wall, because this would be on the back side of the box, this would be on the inside of the box, and you have to drill an oversized hole bigger, get through there, due to the screws and the adjustment on the screws. You'd have to drill a hole bigger than 1 3/8 inches. I was drilling 1.5 inches when I was doing this method. I don't like doing this. This is a much easier, more appealing option, and hopefully you all like it. But let's get this wire pulled in position. Now I'm inside the house here, and I've got my stud spoiler on the wall with 10-2 NM. That's going to feed this AC condensing unit. We've got our panel set up in the house, got our holes drilled through the floor, and I'm pulling on the left hand side of the electrical panel. I prefer the separate the 240 volt on the left side and the 120 volt on the right side. It's easier on trim out. But I'm going to get pulling this wire, and where we're going with this, from this, in reference to this location, it's going down. It's going right down here and out this exterior wall right through there. So it's a fairly close run. So let me get you set up and pull this wire in place. Hopefully Slim's not under here. Me and him don't get along. All right. So we got our wire coming through. I want to rub on each side of the joist to make sure there's no wires. Of course, I know there's no wires because I'm the one that's wired in this house, but I want to make sure there's no pipes. And what I'm going to do is drill holes through these until we line up to where we're going straight outside. And I brought the wrong safety glasses. Hopefully you all will forgive me. And it looks like we got one more. I think this plastic's wet. All right, now looking at where this comes through, you can see the hole in the nipple coming through the wall. That's what we are shooting for. And what I want to do is run about a foot outside. So holding our wire, I'm going to put a little kink right at the end. So that's how much I know I want hanging out. All right. We're going to take our staples. We're going to secure it. Let's see if I can get you set up where you can see this without blinding you with the light. Now, on this particular end, right up there, I want to bend an S loop. And secure a staple. Now, no tight bends, but what this will allow is in a future date, when the outside condensing unit needs to be replaced, they will be able to replace the disconnect if it needs to be done, and they'll have plenty of wire to do that without pulling a new piece in. And I try to do that anytime I get a chance to. And in this application, it's a good opportunity. Now, there's going to be some comments in this video, I know. Why are you leaving so much wire? You figure every time someone cuts that, they're going to waste a foot. Somebody will be able to cut it one more time. They'll still have a foot left over for future change-outs. HVAC systems, from me talking to the HVAC contractor, he said they're designed to last 10-year life expectancy. So chances of this getting replaced 2 or 3 times, possibly even more. It's quite possible. So I would suggest y'all leave some slack. Don't short anybody. Now this is a 3060 Homeline Square D panel. It has the quick grip feature, and this particular slot on the outer side is for 10.2 and 10.3. We're going to break those knockouts out. It's just only 3 of them. We're going to run our wire to the bottom of that. I'm going to put my thumb on it where it needs to go. I'm going to bend it, do a reverse bend to get that to fit inside that groove. Now I'm going to keep it straight. I'm going to put a staple here and a staple down here. The first staple has got to be within 12 inches of the bottom of the box. Same thing on the top, within 12 inches. All right, now we're going to go and do a cut length. And what I like to do is go to the top of the box. Top of the box, we've got it tight to the bottom, it's all secured. Go to the top of the box, get your cutters out, cut it, and we are going to mark HVAC condensing unit. Really important step that some people overlook getting in a hurry, especially if you have quite a few of these 10-2 wires that are going into this panel. You don't want to get them mixed up. So now let me go outside, finish that up. Now we're outside. What I'm going to do is go back to the TA that's coming out of the back of the box, lightly score, get down to the end of the wire, the last inch, score heavy, peel back your wire, put your no slice and dice. Put your blade on the wire and pull. Comes off that easy. Take your paper off. No slice, pull. Try to prevent nicks, cuts, and tears in the outer protector of this wire. So now that we've got that done, we're going to take our screwdriver. I'm going to use a flat blade, and we got two ground lug. We got one ground lug, but it's got two screw terminals on it. And what I'm going to do is come over on the left side because it's exiting the box. The wire's entering the left side of the box. I'm going to keep it on the same side. Go ahead and tighten that up. Now, on this particular disconnect, it has line and load. Let's see if I can show you. If you're looking in here, the center lugs, it says line. You can see that. These are the loads on the outside. So we're going to take our cutters. We're going to use 10 gauge. I'm going to strip back about 1 1/8 inches. I'm going to grab it at a 1/2 inch. I'm going to bend it over to make a loop. I'm going to squeeze it tight. Same thing on this one, 1 1/8 inches. Grab about a 1/2 inch in, twist it over, tighten the loop. That's going to make more even pressure when you're tightening this screw terminal on these lugs. And what we need to do this is a straight blade screwdriver. Loosen out your line. It doesn't matter what side you put these on. Make sure that both of these wires go on the line side, because that's what's feeding this. The load is actually the condensing unit. I'm going to insert that in there. Make sure that you don't get the insulation pinched. You don't want insulation pinched under that lug. Don't over tighten them. It is quite possible that you'll break this disconnect. Alright, now where we're using a white and a black for hots, now you have to re-identify with black magic marker, red tape, or black tape. I prefer the magic marker. I'm going to put 3 bands of black marker on that to re-identify it. I'm going to write on the inside of this disconnect 240 volt. That way if the HVAC guy comes in here and wires the whip up to it, he'll see that it's already wired on 240 volt. Wire is re-identified. Now I'm going to take clear silicone, and I usually leave a little excess on the end of the tip so that you can grab it, pull it off. I'm going to basically put a moisture barrier and keep those wires secured in this box with clear silicone. Like so. I'm going to put my plate in there, push it into that indent that it came from. I'm going to put this in the off position. Basically this facing up. If that was facing up, it would be on. If it's this direction, it's off. We're going to insert our panel door, put it over top of the 2 nubs, give it a whack it at the bottom, it's on. I'm going to make sure that this is level. I'm going to take a paper towel. I'm going to wipe around this, get any of the dust off. And I'm going to silicone this on 3 sides. I'm going to wipe off my tip so I got a clean start. And what I'm trying to do is fill the void in the back to the vinyl siding. And that's to keep water intrusion from going around the hole that you drilled in the back of this box behind the vinyl siding. We don't want to rot out this customer's wall, causing problems in the future. Now, some people would like to say, well, you got to slick that out with your finger. And you got to ask yourself, is it going to look better now? Or is it going to look better after you get done slicking it out with your finger? Sometimes I'll slick it out, sometimes I won't. I think I'm going to slick this out today. Keep a clean towel, paper towel on you. Keep wiping off the excess. So ladies and gentlemen, that completes this 60 amp non-fuse disconnect on this new construction home. If you all like the video, I would appreciate you give me a big thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel for future videos on things electricians do. Hopefully this helped out with you and your installation process in making it look better, more presentable, and it's secured to the wall. No rock. And that's what the electrical inspector is looking for. He wants a tight, secure disconnect. When you grab the handle on the inside and pull that, the disconnect's not going to fly off the wall on you. So I appreciate you all watching, and looking forward to seeing you again on the Working Man Ron Doyle. You all have a wonderful and blessed day.